Our topic today is the implication of free will and moral responsibility. Yesterday, we looked at what consciousness is. We are now aware that we are consciousness. And as consciousness, we have awareness with which we observe our changing thoughts, emotions, intentions, and we also observe the relative changing outer situations, events, circumstances, people, and places. The consciousness that we are has the power to observe, to change, to shift, alter, and transform whatever we put attention to and observe. The principle of observer effect states that no phenomena can exist to be seen in our physical world until it is observed by our consciousness. The act of observing a phenomena affects and changes its behavior. So when we apply this to our life, how has your spouse, business partner, novice, supervisor, child, superior, parent, employee, neighbor, or relative been behaving with you? Have you perceived your partner as selfish? Your employee as insubordinate? Your daughter as being big-headed? Your aspirant as avoidant? Your spouse as inaffectionate? Your neighbor as uncooperative? Your supervisor as grumpy? Your superior as authoritarian? Your parent as controlling? Your relative as a backstabber? Or a work colleague who pulls others down to advance themselves? With your consciousness, you can change the awareness with which you can differently observe them to a perspective from all the infinite possibilities available in the field to shift this behavior. A positive, strength-focused observation fosters more positive behavior, while a critical observation can invite more negative behavior. And with your consciousness, you can shift the behavior of these people you relate with by differently bringing awareness to the kind of behaviors you wish to see and create in the people you relate with. You can begin observing and creating your daughter's behavior as harmonious, your aspirant as more available, your spouse as affectionate, your neighbor as cooperative, your supervisor as appreciative, your parent as a supportive mentor, your employee as one who can own the team's project, and your relative as a genuine person, and a work colleague as an upright team player. With your consciousness, you have a choice to exercise your free will. And this is where free will and moral responsibility come in. Yesterday, we said we would today look at how quantum consciousness challenges our understanding of the relationship between free will and moral responsibility and determinism, whether our choices are random or determined. And quantum physics challenges classical physics' idea of determinism, providing an opening for free will. As we tackle this topic, our ordinary mind or classical laws and quantum physics see free will and moral responsibility differently. Classical laws suggest a deterministic world where every event, Every action is predetermined by prior events and laws of nature, negating free will by ruling out alternative choices. And this deterministic view holds that initial conditions and laws leave no room for genuine choice or agency in our choices. And if determinism squashes free will, we are not freely exercising our free will. Is free will considered to be an illusion if we follow that deterministic law, as our actions are merely the necessary outcomes of prior causes? Are we bound by fate? Are we in control of our choices? Do we even have free will or have a choice? Are we free to make independent choices? Is free will a true facet of our experience, or are we simply playing scripts written by classical Newtonian laws? We wake up every morning. We choose what to wear, whether to drink a cup of tea or coffee. Over our lifetime, we pick a career, we choose a partner, we select a place to live in. What if every single one of these choices were already set in motion before we were born? And what if the choices made are inevitable outcomes of everything that came before it? Our genes, our upbringing, our environment, all shaping the way we act. Are we really choosing, or are we just following a path already set? If we are just biological machines running on chemistry and physics, where is room for free will? Is free will an illusion in a deterministic world? With things predetermined, we still experience life as if we have choices. We still feel the weight of responsibility. Does that mean that all along we have been swimming in the sea of quantum physics without knowing what name to give it? In other words, can quantum mechanics save free will? And advances in quantum mechanics change the picture, shedding a new light, challenging the classical notions of free will and moral responsibility, holding the key to free will, and rescuing the deterministic idea. In classical physics, everything is deterministic. And non-determinism is needed. And quantum mechanics is giving us this and introducing probabilistic elements and a fundamental level of randomness or indeterminacy at the subatomic level, essential for free will to come in. And quantum physics introduces this twist and reveals that events occurring randomly at the subatomic level. And randomness opens the door to the possibility of free will. And randomness in the quantum fields happens at the subatomic levels of mystery, well out of the realm of normal human perception, where the rules of determinism no longer apply. And despite all advances in understanding the causal structure of the cosmos and the natural laws that govern it, we and our brains may not be bound by fate after all. And our choices may no longer be predetermined by prior causes. And events may not be predetermined either. So we will explore the implications of quantum mechanics on our understanding of free will and moral responsibility. And in the context of quantum mechanics, the concept of free will is often linked to the idea of indeterminacy. Let us define these terms. What is determinism? Determinism is the idea that every event and action is determined by prior events or circumstances. What is indeterminacy and randomness of quantum physics? Outcomes cannot be predicted with certainty, and this rules out being bound by fate, and we can have genuine choice and choose to create our own reality. What is free will? Free will means that as humans, we have the ability to make genuine choices that are not solely determined by prior events or internal states. We have the power to act differently with multiple courses of action, not just one. And what is personal agency? It is the feeling of being the cause of our own actions and life circumstances rather than being passive recipients of external forces. So, have you ever wondered if choices are predetermined according to classical physics, or if they are our own according to quantum physics? Some scientists think that our brain collapsing quantum states is a choice being made, and that is free will. Others say that whether it is classical determinism or quantum probability and indeterminism, it is all predetermined. Either way, we don't have control. They argue that quantum probability may still be predetermined, considering that if two particles can be instantaneously linked and a change in one particle causes a change in the other particle, that means the change in the other second particle depended on the first particle. And if our choices are entangled with other people's choices, then our choices may as well not be ours. So this becomes a very hot debate. The ethics and moral responsibility debate. And the relationship between quantum mechanics and free will is a topic of debate, and it is very hot. Some argue that quantum mechanics provides a basis for free will, while others say that it does not. And this debate between classical physics determinism and quantum physics indeterminism or randomness, the debate revolves around whether human actions are caused by prior events according to the laws of nature, or whether we have the freedom to make independent choices. Determinism suggests that actions are predetermined and inevitable, leaving no room for free will, while quantum mechanics provides a basis for free will and the capacity for genuine choice. And quantum physics suggests an element of unpredictability that can allow for genuine choice. However, it does not mean that human decisions are free from external influences or prior experiences. It's unclear whether this can imply moral responsibility. The debate is really hot. And quantum physics challenges determinism, providing an opening for free will. However, it does not provide direct evidence for free will. Instead, it encourages us to think about the nature of choice and responsibility, and it invites us to reflect on how we understand moral agency and accountability. When we think about ethics and morality, free will plays a vital role. If we have the ability to make choices freely, we are accountable for our actions, and that is according to quantum physics indeterminism. If our decisions are entirely predetermined by past events, according to classical physics determinism, it raises questions about our moral responsibility. So if free will doesn't exist, does that mean that nothing matters? Some fear that without free will, there is no morality and there is no justice. If people don't choose to do good or evil, how can we hold them accountable? If we consider that human choices might have an element of randomness, it could influence how we assign responsibility and ethical dilemmas. So in practical terms, understanding this relationship has significant implications for our moral systems. If choices are seen as partly random, not determined by prior causes, it might change how we approach accountability. However, it is essential to remember that while we continue to explore these ideas, we might find new ways to think about our choices and the ethical frameworks that guide us. Let us now ask ourselves this big question. Is free will a quantum process? Some scientists argue that our brain collapsing quantum states is a choice. And the quantum realm may imply the existence of free will if every time we observe and choose one out of the infinite possibilities, the energy of our mind or consciousness is influencing matter and energy and causing ripples in the fabric of the cosmos. Beneath the veil of the physical world we see lies the subatomic world of mystery. And here truths remain intact and undiscovered, where infinite possibilities exist. And each particle, in secret, hums a dance of endless possibilities until we observe it, until we think about it, until a choice agitates its silence. And infinite waves of what might have been stretch out in the vast expanse as latent possibilities waiting for us to observe them. This cosmos that is all-seeing, that is all-knowing, waits in its timeless trance, and its knowledge spans what could unfold. And the mirror of existence cracks when we as watchers turn our eyes and our attention and our thoughts onto this field. A wave collapses into physical form, and matter forms from energy or spirit, and the field obeys our consciousness. What is all energy? What was energy now sharpens into being. What was energy now sharpens into being. The moment a choice and will collide with the field and with what the field was already holding and with what the field was already seeing. So an action shapes chaotic events. When we observe those trials and events in our external environment, we shift them. And each choice leads to a consequence. So through observation, paths come together and unite, and they transform the chaos around us. And the cosmos becomes what it's meant to be. And through chaos, order materializes. When we look at the external world and it seems as if we are going through chaos, underneath the energy that we do not see, if we could get there, it is preparing for order. Can we have electricity without waterfalls? Think about that. So here we stand at a paradox of grace. a boundless source of what may be that exists already in the field of minute particles we can't see. And all this is intertwined with our human space of the big picture of what we can see of the physical world that we live in. And when we know how to work with our ordinary mind, as the quantum mind works with it, no chains of fate can bind the soul, stopping it from interacting between the macro physical world and the micro world of mystery. There is no catch that the field makes for this soul that is longing, that is yearning for the mystery of the field. All knowledge dwells in infinite possibilities, not in our physical horsepower. And the quantum whispers to us every moment of the now. And we are free to tap in. With every choice we make, the cosmos comes closer to our desire, to our intention. And in every thought, the cosmos vibrates into the sacred dance of free will, where all creation unfolds and infinite potential observation and creations weave into a harmony of cosmic will, a co-creative space where there is no war between the field and free will. There is just boundless realms where choice and the field weave into quantum unity. With all that said, now let us look closer at the quantum principles that apply to free will and moral responsibilities. We will begin with those principles that apply to free will. And the first one is non-locality and interconnectedness. How does this apply to free will? Quantum psychology implies that human decisions and actions are interconnected and non-local, transcending classical notions of individual free will. The second principle is supervision of choices. How does that apply to free will? Quantum psychology suggests that human choices may exist in a state of superposition where multiple options are simultaneously present until observation. And the third principle is the principle of quantum uncertainty. How does that apply to free will? It states that we cannot precisely determine the position and momentum of a particle, and this unpredictability implies that human decisions may not be entirely deterministic, so there might be room for free will. When we look at principles that apply to moral responsibility, the first one is quantum entanglement and shared responsibility. Quantum psychology implies that human actions and decisions may be entangled, making it difficult to assign individual moral responsibility. And the second principle is non-locality and collective responsibility applied to moral responsibility. Quantum psychology suggests that human actions and decisions may have non-local consequences, making collective responsibility a more relevant concept. When a group of people do mob justice on a thief, who is responsible? Is it one of them or is it all of them? And our last principle concerning moral responsibility is quantum uncertainty and moral ambiguity. Where quantum psychology implies that moral decisions and actions may be subject to quantum uncertainty, making moral ambiguity a new concept. Let us go back to where we started from. What are we paying attention to? What are we creating from the field? Remembering that the field obeys our mind through the programs in our subconscious mind. And our subconscious mind is the gateway to where our attention will go and to what we will reflect back in our day-to-day experiences. And we think our choices as our effort or action, and our willpower decides our senses. However, 95% of our life is controlled by our subconscious mind. That's why we keep repeating the same patterns. For example, we keep having the same stress even when we change jobs. We keep having the same fights even when we change partners. We keep on making the same excuses year after year. Why is that? Because our subconscious mind is a recording machine. It stores and plays on repeat what we tell ourselves. And what we tell ourselves bends our reality to match those beliefs. For example, what are you feeding your subconscious mind? Are you feeding it with limiting beliefs? I am not good enough. I will never make it. Money is hard to come by. If we feed our subconscious mind with limiting beliefs, that is what we will attract into our lived experiences. If we feed our subconscious mind with new beliefs, it rewires our entire life. When we fear long enough, we will live in fear. If we visualize success long enough, we will create success. And this is neuroscience. Our brain builds pathways to match what we feed it. Are you programming your mind, or are you letting the world and societal systems program it for you? We have to stop letting circumstances control us and our current situation determine our future. Too often we allow our struggles, our limitations, and doubts to dictate our thoughts, actions, and outcomes. And the secret to reinventing our life is to stop letting circumstances define us. We live in a world dictated by the immediate. And when life feels stagnant, it is easy to believe that our reality is unchangeable. And we get into learned helplessness. And learned helplessness means that we think that no matter what I do, I cannot change this situation. That is learned helplessness. Our situations are not our destiny. They are the starting line, not the finish. These situations don't dictate our potential or our capacity to achieve greatness. Everything in our life, be it career, relationship, finances, everything began as a thought, and every triumph or transformation starts with a vision, a belief, and the courage to look beyond what's visible. When challenges arise, don't fixate on the problem. Instead, focus on the possibility. We have the power to mold our reality with our free will. When we shift from seeing obstacles as roadblocks to viewing them as opportunities for transformation, we take the first step towards the life we desire. Temporary setbacks don't define us. The moment we let our current reality dominate our mindset, we surrender our power. But when we refuse to let circumstances control our thoughts, we create space for something extraordinary. Do you want to see and experience the extraordinary? Align your actions with your vision, not with your struggles. And stop reacting to external chaos, but start responding, not reacting. Start responding with purpose to your internal compass, what your inner intention tells you and is leading you to. Because your inner compass knows exactly where you need to be. Just flow with it. So the most successful, resilient individuals are not those who avoid adversity, but those who refuse to let adversity define them. They choose to believe in a future beyond their present hardships and take action even when the path seems unclear. Your current situation right now is a snapshot. It is just a fleeting moment in time. And the power to evolve and to create and progress lies in your ability to envision something better and trust that persistence will turn that vision into reality. So the next time you face failure, the next time you face hardship, the next time you have a challenge or doubt, remind yourself that that circumstance is temporary and focus on the person you are becoming, the goals you are chasing, and the future you are building. In the story of Adam and Eve, they only practiced free will once they ate from the tree of the knowledge in the middle of the garden. And most of us have misinterpreted that to mean something beyond the belt. But that's not true. The tree of knowledge is about overcoming ignorance. We perish from lack of knowledge. Are we the person who refuses to eat of the fruit from the tree of knowledge, where we are willfully, whether we are willfully ignorant or ignorant in the way that we just haven't been taught or we don't know? Either way, we have no free will because we haven't allowed ourselves to be exposed to this knowledge. Do we rather prefer to remain a puppet with no free will, pulled by strings with someone else manipulating us, telling us when to sit, when to stand, when to speak, or when to shut up? Will we be part of those people that are fine having others make things okay for them and happy, not having free will? Or will we provide a conducive environment for ourselves and for those that we serve to awaken and exercise our free will to create our own desired reality? There is no free will for willful sleepers who will not awaken into the field where a version of themselves holding the vision they want already exists for them to match with the specific version they want to create. Are you just being around on this earth, going here and there, taking what comes to you as if you don't have power over your own life? Those who have awakened out of slumber and accept and acknowledge that we are consciousness that can shape and influence our own reality, those have advantage over those who do not. So as we get towards the end, we are going to learn a tool that is going to help us direct our attention to the right place so that we can create that desired reality that we want, so that those overwhelming outer circumstances and situations are kept somewhere else as we continue to live sovereign over the material, solid, physical world. So we are directing our attention with sacred geometry of the octahedron, which is the building block of consciousness. The secret geometry we are going to use is called an octahedron. Towards the end of this presentation, I will put the octahedron so that you can see it and be able to see yourself inside it with the full power of your consciousness to create the reality that you desire. And this geometry is not a physical object. It is a three-dimensional construct you can create using your mind and visualization. And it is a fundamental part of how things work on the energy level. And visualizing the octahedron around your body gives you a lot more for describing where you are going with your attention. And this octahedron is the fundamental geometry that's going to ground you and bring you more present into the present now moment that is magical, that is mystical, that is a miracle. You can heal your energy and you can heal the mental clutter that is in your head with secret geometry. When you are trying to scale up a career, or when you are trying to build a business, or if you are a student creating content, or if you are a social worker, or somebody who has reports to write in order to beat a deadline, and you are getting overwhelmed by the amount of things that you have to do, the amount of ideas, or the number of students or clients or parishioners that are waiting for you to see you, and it becomes so overwhelming. This technique is the one thing that you can do to take the heat off and make whatever is overwhelming you easier. So right now, bring to mind what is overwhelming you. Is it a report you have to write? And yet there are other reports, several of them. And even when you are writing the present report, the other reports keep creeping in into your mind. Or is it a particular project that you have to write a narrative report on, and the other projects are also waiting for you? And as you are working on this project, you are also thinking of the other projects, and all that is overwhelming. And even as you have all this work to do, you have that partner who is insisting on a divorce. You have that work colleague who is uncooperative, and your mind now seems to be overwhelmed. And yet you want to focus on this report. So what are you going to do to this report that you want to focus on right now in the now? And what are you going to do with all the other mental clutter that is preventing you from focusing on this report that you have to write right now? So this is where the octahedron, the sacred geometry, comes in. So let us go through it and see how it helps us. So with eyes closed, imagine that there is a flower like a rose at an arm's length in front of you. Now imagine placing another rod also at arm's length behind you. Now imagine creating a third rose to your right, also at arm's length, and create another rose to your left, also at an arm's length. You have 4 roses right now. 1 rose in front of you, 1 rose behind you, 1 rose on your right, and 1 rose on your left. We are beginning to build an octahedron. Now you are going to connect those roses to each other to make a diamond shape around your body. In your mind, visualize this line of energy, a straight line from the front rose to the right rose, and then from the right rose to the back rose, and from the back rose to the left rose. You have created a diamond around your body. Now create a 5th rose above your head and connect that rose at the top of your head to the rose in front of you, to the rose on the right, to the rows behind, and to the rows on the left. If you are doing it right, you are noticing that you are now inside a pyramid, and it's like a four-sided pyramid, and you are sitting in the middle of it. Now imagine there is another rose beneath your feet. Connect that rose with a straight line to the points on the front, to the points on the right, to the points behind, and to the points on the left. Now you have a pyramid pointing up and another pyramid pointing down. Notice what started to happen to you right now, because you have created a very powerful container of energy. And experiencing this geometry will change you. Take command of this octahedron structure within which you are seated right now. It has a point above your head, a point below your feet, a point in front of you, a point towards the back of you, and another point to the right, and another point to the left. You are surrounded with powerful energy of the sacred geometry of the octahedron. Take command of this octahedron structure. All of your power is in this now magical, powerful moment. You now are in charge of your energy field, and your energy field is fully charged. Now think of a project. Think of a deadline. Think of whatever it is that is overwhelming you. And notice that overwhelming feeling or thought or activity. And if you are thinking about it, then it must be with you inside the container you have created. It is inside your body. If you are feeling and thinking about it, it is inside of you. You have become the energy of that report you have to write. You have become the energy of that overwhelming situation that is threatening you. So you and that situation have become one in that project, in that octahedron. Do you want to remain with that which is overwhelming you and preventing you from enjoying the present moment, where you can choose to focus on only one thing? Where are you going to put this thing that is overwhelming you, so that you can remove it from within you and see yourself separate from it? So now you are going to create the same geometry, the same octahedron, a little octahedron with a pyramid pointed up and down in front of you, but place it far away from you, not only 1 arm's length, which is 3 feet, but 3 arms length, which is about 10 feet. And that geometry is where all the overwhelm is going to go. Now feel that overwhelm leaving your personal space, moving into that powerful point where you have put it out of you. Feel that energy moving out and see the geometry that you are putting it into. Remember that where you put your overwhelm, remember where you have put it, so that the next time you want to bring it back into you to work on it, you can easily access it. For example, you have 4 reports to make. You are making 1 report right now. The other 3 reports, you are putting them somewhere outside of you so that you don't think about them while you are doing the present report. And when you have finished the report and you want to do another report that you have shelved away, Now you grab that geometry you put 10 feet away in front of you and bring it back around you. Instantly, it is back into your field, and you are tuned to what you need to focus on right now that you are brought back into your field. And that will be fired. You will fire it up and you will work on it in order to fulfill it. I hope we have known what to do with our overwhelm. So right now, let's get to seeing this octahedron so that the next moment you have to create that overwhelming situation and put it away from you, you will know what the octahedron looks like. So this is our octahedron. You can see a point above you, a point below you, a point to your right, and a point to your left, and a point in front of you, and a point at your back. So see yourself in the middle, seated in the middle of this powerful structure. I hope you have enjoyed this presentation. Namaste. Stay well.